Hello everybody and welcome back to Crusader Kings, where we are currently apparently being invaded by this guy over here. Hopefully he's not going to siege our titles here, because we can't really do anything about that army. Not right now, anyway. We will be able to, but we had a bit of a setback with this guy. Oh, hello, what's this event? We don't actually get money out of this, but 82% chance of a large cattle herd sounds good to me, and we were successful. Fantastic. So that'll boost our development, and long term, that'll make us some money. Ah, he is coming over here. Wait, he's splitting up? Like I said, we can't really do too much about this. I think we just have to allow this to happen. It's very unfortunate. But this is our liege's problem, not our problem. We just don't have the quantity of troops that we need to be able to deal with this. Not in this moment. So we'll just continue to bank up for now, and this is fine. Hopefully, he'll head this direction once he's done with this county, and not head this direction. That would be the dream. We'll see. Now, we do need to get additional windmills going. Out over here in Mahal will be a great place to do that, but Mahal also needs blacksmiths. So we need to decide, do we want to build windmills here and drop workshops and no longer have the station men-at-arms siege progress? I mean, this isn't a huge amount of siege progress, right? 1.75 per month, and when we compare this to blacksmiths, I mean, this is going to be a boost of 32%, right? It's going to be a little bit hard to tell what exactly is the benefit here. But windmills, if we go to here, 3.85 per month. We definitely want to put windmills in here. So let's go ahead and do that, and this is going to get replaced eventually with blacksmiths. So that seems fine for now. Okay. He's rescinding our appointment as marshal. Sure, fair enough. And this siege will eventually be over. What is this war, anyway? Claim on the kingdom. That's awkward. And now we're trying to depose this guy. We can choose to join the war against tyranny or say that she's the traitor. We're not going to participate. For now, we don't care. If these two unions become, if these two kingdoms become unified in a personal union, that's actually kind of good for us in a weird sort of way. So it's fine. We're going to allow this. This is completely and totally okay. I hope that they leave our territory after this. Like, go take the king's capital up here. Okay, he now wants us to be the steward. Sure. Sounds good. Okay, they're heading this direction. Fantastic. Do we want to cap these back? Well, maybe not right now. Hang on. What's the kingdom titles here? This claim is for the Kingdom of Temalakam. This is our liege's primary title. So yeah, he's claiming this up over here. Sure. So that's fine for now. We do need to continue to build, and Colum is a place that we want to do that in. I want to immediately put in windmills right here. But we've got 931 gold. Where did all that gold come from? We didn't have that a moment ago. Okay, that's exciting. Building a pilgrim's quarters here sounds fantastic. Hospices is not a terrible idea, but I'm going to put a forestry in right here. Up here, we are putting in shooting ranges. I guess that's fine. Here we have libraries. I actually want to change that, and I'm going to change that over to being hospices. Up over this direction, this temple, I'm going to put in hospices, and in this city, I'm going to put in a forestry. And then up this way, in this temple, we're going to do hospices. We have all this gold, we might as well spend it. So this is going to end up being... There's no forestry here? Okay, that's interesting. I guess this is a plains title. Okay, that's fine. We could put in cattle pastures, or we could put in hospices. I kind of want the plague resistance, so we'll get going on that for now. And then out over here, this, we probably don't need hospices all that much. Things do spread across the water, but it's a little less. I'm still going to build it. So that's all of our money, and that's also basically all of our titles constructing, except for these out over here. So that's neat. The question now is, do we want to raise our forces and take these back? I'm going to do it. So we're going to hop in over here. And we're going to get these titles taken right on back. We should be able to siege them pretty quickly, in theory. Quickly-ish. He just needs to stay out of our territory, to be honest. Our culture has entered the late medieval era, and that's not surprising. We knew that that was on the way. Okay, so he's currently grouping up and coming back this direction, which is not particularly surprising. Now, we can't fight them, but what we can do is hope that he goes up here instead of down here. And he's not. He's going to fight this. Okay, we finished the siege, and we're going to try to get out of here. We're not going to succeed, it would appear. We just finished the siege. It's going to take us 9 days to get to each of these locations, so we're not going to make it out. We're going to have to fight right here, and this castle is not a great defensive location. So we'll see how many forces he wants to commit to this. Wait a sec. He's letting us get away. Beautiful. Okay, so we're going to loop around. We don't want to fight this guy, but he very much wants to fight us, it would appear. Okay, so Sinhala Pox. Sure. A soft approach is best. Where is Sinhala Pox? Oh, right in our capital. That's unfortunate. We're young enough that we'll probably survive it. I'm not even going to bother secluding for right now. Okay. Early prevention was successful. And we're just going to walk up over this direction, and we'll disband as soon as we can. We don't want to be taking attrition from all this smallpox out over here. So we'll do that. There we go. And unfortunately, it looks like he has decided to come siege exclusively our territory and not anyone else's territory, which is very rude of him, but whatever. We do need a new marshal, and that could be this guy. That seems absolutely fine. And this smallpox is not great. That's for sure. It's very not great. So these wars are going to be over shortly, and our kingdom is going to be in a spicy place, for sure. Okay, so he became our new liege through conquest. So if we look at this now, yeah. So this is just a unified kingdom. That's actually probably for the best. So that's okay. So all of this is back under control now, and he wants us to become the chancellor. Interesting. So we need to get our control level up of these. So we certainly want to work on that. I want to... We have a smuggling ring here as well. Okay. So let's go ahead and increase our county control in Madurai. Out up over this direction, things are fine-ish. Okay. So our regent has fewer borrowed powers. Let's take a look here and see if we can do anything about her. No. She has no chance of acceptance here at this moment. Perhaps she'll die of smallpox. She is in poor health already, right? Actually, she's feeling fine right now. Okay. Well, we'll just continue to work on this for now, and I would love to get a construction going here. Now, we've already got our shooting range going, and otherwise, we're basically just interested in building things that boost our income here. So we can't build things like windmills and water mills, but we can put blacksmiths in here eventually. I'm not sure if we want to do that now. We'll probably, for the moment, just put in manor houses and farms and fields. So we'll get going on that. That seems good. Now, this castle here, this is intended to be purely economical. and that's absolutely fine. We've got a forestry in here right now. An elephantry would be okay for making money as well, but we can also put in a wind furnace, and that's what we're going to do there for now. This temple built a chapel. That seems okay. This one built a library, which I'm actually wanting to change, but we can't do that right now. For this guy, we're going to put in an economic structure like... I would rather not do a blacksmith. I'm just going to do a cattle pasture. Okay, that's fine there. Here we could put in simply a cattle pasture as well. Although we're missing cash. Okay, we got to let this tick. So this smallpox is rough. No doubt about it. We just inherited the Dama of Korkai, which we cannot hold ourselves. We're going to have to grant that out. And we haven't yet managed to get an heir. This is a bit of a problem. We should probably see about doing something about that. So, to that end, let's see what we've got for options here. Not amazing options, but we can always just marry random people. Here's one that would bring in the intelligent trait into our line potentially, and she'll do. We're technically related, apparently. 0.4% chance, though. That's probably not anything to worry about. Let's go ahead and do that for now. Okay, what else do we have here? Well, we can probably just marry, like I said, someone kind of at random, like this. That'll be fine. So our liege is converting Madurai. Is this the wrong religion? It is. Okay, I didn't even realize that. So that's fine. Simple windmills have been constructed in Calicut, and that is absolutely a good thing, but our finances are grim right now. 17.4. Ooh. This plague is wrecking us at this moment. Yikes. This plague is absolutely wrecking us economically. Luckily for us, Mahal is unaffected, so there's that. The plague is probably going to pass fairly soon here, if I had to guess. Yeah, it's gotta go pretty soon. Yep, there we go. It's starting to clear out. Perfect. So that is a very, very good thing. So up over this direction, I want to check in on the empty building slots. So like up over here, we want cattle pastures. We just want to fill in that building slot as soon as we can. So this down over here is upgrading the regimental camps, apparently, and that seems fine. This castle here, this is intended for pikemen, right? So do we have anything at all that can boost our pikemen further? Well, we could build workshops. That would give them siege. That would give them station men-at-arms siege progress. I don't know that that's really worth it when we could put in manor houses, though. And manor houses are going to make a whole lot more. So that's kind of the plan at this point. We'll need money for that. We get a new stewardship perk, and that, of course, is going to be It Is My Domain. And that allows us to extort our subjects. What is this? I really don't care. They improved their friendship. Okay, cool. So 175, 175, yikes. That's not a fantastic amount of money, but it is enough to get started on some manor houses here. So we'll get that going. That's okay for now. We are now ill, but this isn't smallpox. We should be okay. We're a little bit brighter. And the smallpox is definitely beginning to go away. There's no doubt about that. So get out of here, smallpox. We don't like you. But yeah, this is just an illness. This is not actually smallpox. So that's very good. We finished constructing a windmill. And eventually, this is going to clear out. But it has held on for a long time. More windmills being completed. That's good. I'm hoping that we're going to get an heir sometime soon. That would be, convenient. It'd be bad for us to die at this moment. That's for sure. As in, that would be game ending. That would be very bad indeed. So we're still working. Okay, we do have a pregnant wife at this point. That's fantastic. A nose for profit, huh? Let us move on. I don't want to spend money on that right now. So this smallpox is still hanging on in a couple of our locations, but very, very soon it's going to be done here. Oh, that our regent must have given us all that money that we got earlier. So I would still like to get rid of her, but she has made us a decent amount of money, so that's nice. We managed to cleanse off one of the county corruptions over here, and actually, that was the only county corruption. We have another county corruption somewhere, don't we? I think we do. Maybe not. Apparently not. Okay, that's fine then. Absolutely fine. So we'll just continue to let this control rise up and this control rise up. That seems good. This plague is basically gone. It's still holding on here. Now it's gone. So this quarantine should be over until 5 October 1217. The disease is gone. Can we lift the quarantine? Maybe that'll update in a little bit, because we should be able to lift this at this moment. Okay, so our regent has furthered the mandate, giving us some feudal taxes. That's neat. But I'm wondering right now, where are our taxes? Well, I can tell you, they are in this lost tax shipment here. So we're no longer ill. That's good. And we have another pregnant wife. Okay, cool. Actually, that may be a little overkill at this point, but we now have a son and heir. Okay, that's good. We'll lose 24 stress, and we would definitely like to get some more constructions going here, specifically here. Now, this is supposed to be about improving our heavy infantry. So, is there anything that we can do here to improve heavy infantry? Workshops would theoretically do the case, but we also have access to manor houses here. And I strongly suspect that manor houses are the correct course of action at this moment. So we'll get that going for now. And that will be absolutely fine. We're back up to 20.3 income at this moment, but our entire realm has that. There's some unused farmland, and actually this town, we no longer have the missing tax shipment. Okay, but it's this quarantine that's really harming us right now. Our liege wants us to convert to Theravada. We decline. How powerful is he anyway at this point? Okay, noted. So, offer guardianship. This is... He wants to become our heir's guardian. I'm going to decline that. He's not exactly who we want our heir to be educated by. Let's go ahead and set a education here, and we could do it ourselves. We are a fortune builder. Alternatively, fortune builder, yeah. This guy's Midas touched. But we could do it ourselves. Done. Okay. So at this point, we need to be making back our money, and that pretty much means this quarantine has got to go. This is going to be another 6 years, by the way. So that's gross. Absolutely horrific, in fact. So that's understood. We're going to need to continue to construct, and our savings are going to be a little bit grim at this moment. Also, these castles were looted, and that's not ideal for us. We had a fairly significant amount of setback recently, but we're still making progress. So that's excellent. So we can certainly make some upgrades here. I think for the moment, we should just continue to bank up our cash. Here in Colum, again, this is reduced by 16% due to low county control. But the most important thing is we've got this quarantine here, right? And that quarantine is present on everywhere but here. So that's noted. That is the vast majority of why we are not making very much money right now. Luckily, the smallpox never really got into our court. That also means that it didn't really affect our regent, who is actually in poor health at this moment. So hopefully she'll die fairly soon, but she has made us a pretty decent chunk of money. So that's not the worst thing in the world. We just successfully swayed her. She's still not willing to leave. Okay, so that's noted. And we've managed to bring our control level over here back up to 50%. And this is at 90. This is going to max out before this does, for sure. So we've still got a lost tax shipment out over here until 2 April 1213. That's understood. But it's mostly this quarantine that's the biggest problem right now. All of these castles are constructing, and this is where the bulk of our focus needs to be right now. So we're going to be finishing some of these very, very soon. This is certainly going to be windmills. No doubt about that. So we're going to finish up our workshop here in just a few days, and that will be fantastic. We may want to consider building a duchy building here, much like we did up over here, that's simply tax assessors. I don't know. We have a stewardship perk at this moment, and let's grab Hergeld. So that'll boost our income somewhat. And we also definitely want to get windmills going in here. Beautiful. So that looks fantastic. This recently looted is going to go away next year, and this one is going to go away next year as well. So we're going to start getting taxes from here again. And there is a faction that is growing here. This is peasant rabble. Whatever. I don't actually care about that. That's fine. So our regent furthered her mandate and paid 220 gold to us. And we just discovered a new technology. So what innovation are we working on next? Oh, we're the culture head. That's convenient. So urbanization is being exposed. That's fine. Kind of irrelevant, but fine. We can go for something like court officials for that sweet, sweet domain limit. Or we could go for cranes to get all of the medieval era buildings. That doesn't give us new building slots. Okay. Vassal limit is neat, but that's not really what we're after. We don't really need it right now. So I'm thinking about machicolations at this moment, or even standing armies. Plate armor is pretty good. Royal armory, sappers, all these military things are quite good. I'm going to go for machicolations for now, and that will allow us to further upgrade our castles, which will, of course, be a very good thing. So down over here, we've got a lot of buildings going in. We're putting in a wind furnace here right now. This is going to be an economic castle for the moment. And to that end, I think that we need to put in something along the lines of a trade port. So that'll be fine. We'll get that on the way. Excellent. Now, we've got a fair amount of cash on hand, and the question is, do we need to be banking that, or can we spend it? The answer is we can spend it. These are going to be a little bit. So out over this direction, I'm going to upgrade this windmill. Perfect. So that's fine, and we're now up to 86 on our regent's opinion. At this point, if we offered her money, she would accept, or she wouldn't accept. But we're now at 3% acceptance chance for offering a favor. Ugh, okay. That's rough. That's very rough. The good news is these are no longer recently looted. So we're now starting to actually get some amount of gold from these castles. So that is great. Our control level is growing, which is raising our taxes, but this quarantine is still going to be rough. And it's going to be rough for another 6 years. I wish we could lift the quarantine. We should be able to, right? I feel like we should be able to. But we can't. So that's very awkward. No doubt about it. There's no reason for this to be quarantined right now. Not for another 6 years either. So that's very sad. We do have an empty council position. This is our chancellor, and that will be this guy. Up in Calicut, we could get an upgrade going, but I'm going to hold off on that for the moment. We know that we're going to want, this is military outposts. Interesting. It does make money, so I guess it's fine. We know that we're going to want gold down over here fairly soon. Yeah, for sure. We just are trying to get a level 1 of buildings here. Okay, never. A peasant's lot is to serve their lord. So this is a peasant rebellion, and this is not particularly shocking. We knew that this was coming, and we're going to raise up our forces, and they're just going to get crushed. This is not going to be a problem. The game thinks that this is going to be an even battle. This is not going to be even in the slightest. We have a huge numerical advantage on them. Our troops are better, and we're going to be defending. This is not going to go well. I have no idea why the game thought that this was going to be even. It was never going to be even close to even. So there we go. We can enforce those demands and disband our troops. Fantastic. So do we want a smithy investment? Do we want a jeweler investment? Or do we want 50 gold? I'm going to take the gold because that will allow us to immediately invest in an upgrade on windmills, which is going to boost our income by 0.45 gold per month and give us 4% holding taxes and 4% development growth. That's huge. Regent skimmed from the mandate. That's very rude, but at least she gave us some gold. So that's something, I guess. We're not currently working on control level out over here. We should definitely be doing that. So let's get going on that one. Okay, so that all looks good. We should be finishing up. Yeah, we'll be finishing here. So we need to save some money for this. But really the thing that's harming us right now is this quarantine. Unfortunately, there's another 5 years on it. 5.5. Okay, so we're at maximum sway on our regent at this point. Her loyalty is now situational. And we're going to take 120 gold. Fantastic. And if we offered her a favor, she'd now be at a 13% chance. Okay, that's spicy. So up over this direction, we definitely want to get a windmill going in, and this is going to be finishing momentarily. Now, this castle is intended to be... the Mongols are rising. We probably are not going to get affected by the Mongols down here. They're more up over this direction. We're probably not going to see too much from them, at least not yet. They might be a problem later. They're rising a little early, aren't they? I was under the impression that that's like 1265 or something like that is the normal time frame, but maybe this is right. I don't know off the top of my head. What I do know is that it's time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we're going to get rid of this quarantine, and we're going to start making money and getting our investments done, and we're going to start seeing our military power really start to boost up soon. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, Spock, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.